Conger tracked down Jet and interrogated him, learning of Booth's location at the Garrett farm. Before dawn on April 26, the soldiers caught up with the fugitives, who were hiding in Garrett's tobacco barn. David Harold surrendered, but Booth refused Conger's demand to surrender, saying, "I prefer to come out and fight." The soldiers then set the barn on fire. As Booth moved about inside the blazing barn, Sergeant Boston Corbett shot him. According to Corbett's later account, he fired at Booth because the fugitive raised his pistol to shoot at them. Conger's report to Stanton stated that Corbett shot Booth without order, pretext or excuse, and recommended that Corbett be punished for disobeying orders to take Booth alive. Booth, fatally wounded in the neck, was dragged from the barn to the porch of Garrett's farmhouse, where he died 3 hours later, aged 26. The bullet had pierced 3 vertebrae and partially severed his spinal cord, paralyzing him. He was exactly 2 weeks short of his 27th birthday. In his dying moments, he reportedly whispered, "Tell my mother I died for my country." Asking that his hands be raised to his face so that he could see them, Booth uttered his last words, "Useless, useless," and as dawn was breaking he died of asphyxiation as a result of his wounds. In Booth's pockets were found a compass, a candle, pictures of 5 women, and his diary, where he had written of Lincoln's death, "Our country owed all her troubles to him, and God simply made me the instrument of his punishment." Shortly after Booth's death, his brother Edwin wrote to his sister Asia, "Think no more of him as your brother. He is dead to us now, as he soon must be to all the world, but imagine the boy you love to be in that better part of his spirit, in another world." Asia also had in her possession a sealed letter that Booth had given her in January 1865 for safekeeping, only to be opened upon his death. In the letter, Booth had written, "I know how foolish I shall be deemed for undertaking such a step as this, where, on one side, I have many friends and everything to make me happy. To give up all seems insane. But God is my judge. I love justice more than I do a country that disowns it, more than fame or wealth." Booth's letter was seized by federal troops, along with other family papers at Asia's house, and published by the New York Times while the manhunt was still underway. It explained his reasons for plotting against Lincoln. In it he decried Lincoln's war policy as one of total annihilation, and said, "I have ever held the South was right." The very nomination of Abraham Lincoln, 4 years ago, spoke plainly war upon Southern rights and institutions. And looking upon African slavery from the same standpoint held by the noble framers of our Constitution, I for one, have ever considered it one of the greatest blessings that God has ever bestowed upon a favored nation. I have also studied hard to discover upon what grounds the right of a state to secede has been denied, when our very name, United States, and the Declaration of Independence, both provide for secession.